Alrighty, let's get this recap on the road. Bring up Leo Blood Bowl. I've decided I don't really want to talk about the everything about the teams and watch the game at the same time. I'm going to go through the implications of like team development and MNGs. Uh, Maybe not MNGs, but like look at the results and then look at some highlights. I think that's what we're gonna go with. Try that out this week. See how it feels. Here's some complaints. Here's some reviews. That sort of thing. So first off, we have Bridgman versus Van Gulver, the Whitecaps. This one was actually a pretty surprising upset for me. I really expected the Bridgman to just run away with this one, but the Whitecaps just stomped them. Just massive disparity in removals. And don't basically I got this entire week wrong, except I called a tie and I was right. I basically predicted every single game incorrectly. So behave or I'll predict that you'll win. And let's see, we got the Whitecaps right here. Take a look at them real quick. I don't think they really had many changes. Yeah, they didn't have any levels, they didn't have any deaths. I just double checked the match report. So nothing crazy there. Still, very good looking team. These whites are well developed. Mummies are fine. Like, if one of them rolls a double on a level for block, they're off to the races, but, you know, mummies are mummies. Ghouls are looking great. The one that died, still sad, but make do, make do. And then we got Pez's Bridgman right here. And I think there was some differences. Let me double check. A blocker with guard died, and like that's sad, but not the end of the world. You get another blocker, and you get him to guard pretty easily. Not too big a deal. I still think that Bridgman's gonna have a great season. They've good positionals, good coach, easy peasy. Okay, then we had Pangolin Madness versus the Demonic Animal Crossers. And this game was a bash and grind fest, and they traded claw palm hits, and Pangolin just eventually won the claw palm trade. Like, look at the armor break disparity. A lot of that came from like cast snowballing, and that's just how it goes. Pangolin also had a really good chain push play to sack the ball in the first half that kind of secured a draw and helped them get the point to go into a win. But let's take a look at Pangolin real quick. See, I don't think they had any changes either. I think there's been relatively few levels and injuries. Pangolin's right here. But it's got the full team back now. All six blockers. They had a loner blocker that they induced, which helped out a lot. Being the underdog really was nice. And Angst is still a good killer. Still did great. And especially with Jump Up. Hey, Incesticide, how's it going? And then they were against Demonic Animal Crossers, correct? Yes. And Demonic Animal Crossers actually had a level on Pointer Fur. Oh, and roll dodge. That could be a ball carrier. That could be another pillar piece. You get them stand firmed and guard. It could just... It doesn't have to be anything. But yeah, it's a decent level. Almost be tempting to take diving tackle. It's still time for them to die before you have to meet either of them. Yeah. Also, Tom Nook, absolute crazy piece. Like, strength 6, like, oh. And it's actually like, you get a real decision once you get to 76. Do you go stand firm? Do you go tentacles? Do you go just guard? Like, I find that the weird part about getting two strength ups on anybody is like there's so many skills you want to give them, But strength 6, really strong. And let's see, next we had very claw palmable. Oh, it was a claw palmed a couple times. Fragile and Limp versus Terror Sea Titans. Puppet Justice did a number on Fragile and Limp. This was a brutal game for the Dark Elves. Puppet Justice did a very good job at preventing any sort of hypnogaze into sack play. Did a very good job at preventing surfing shenanigans. I'd say that one of the best things that Fragile and Limp did was they got a frenzy hit to get the claw palmer on the ground and foul them. But it just resulted in a send-off, and then the next time they did it, it just got them a stun. But there was a very good chain push that we'll look at after we talk about the teams a little bit. But yeah, just removal dichotomy, and yeah, everybody got a buddy for the Frenzy Trap. And you also carried on the Strength 5, which was very, very rude. Was something else that... Oh, also, you activated Pass Block, which is impressive to me, more so than many other things. I'm trying to remember... I think there was some... let's see. Fragile and Limp. I feel like I'm blind whenever I look for a team. But yeah. They had some perms on linemen. They're now gone. They're just going to be replaced with loners. They didn't really lose any skills. They didn't get any levels, so basically the same as last week. But we've got a level for the Terror Sea Titans. They got a level on the Minotaur, and they got block. Minotaur got a touchdown. It was great to watch. We'll see that in a minute. And yeah. Basically, Minotaur with block. This can now become a pillar piece. It can get its other 2 SPP semi-easily by taking reliable 3-dice blitzes. You know, throwing 6 dice at things is pretty good. Yeah. 1 in 10 was forced into the block. That you can't pass up the block, though. It's too important for the Minotaur. Yeah. But, you know, you also got the MVP from that game, so you might just be able to level it in your next game if you get lucky. It's got block Mighty Blow. Like, it's not that hard to farm some hits on it. Unless it just refuses to move, but then that's like a whole different problem. Alright, and then here's another game I think this was one of the games I was right about. I predicted this one correctly as well. Because I predicted that the Crocswork Skinks would win, Bridgeforth would lose, but that was mainly on the merits of a Almost Natty Skink, which the Almost Natty Skink was discussing this game. But Bridgeforth did put up a very good game. It was a fun game to watch. Like, even though it ended 1-3, it was actually a lot closer than that scoreline would tell you. But yeah, look, similar removals, but KOs coming back a little bit towards the end, but not for most of it. It was actually like, there was a point where it was like 10v7, and then it flip-flopped a little bit. But let's see. And let's see if we can find... Bridgeforth is on the second page? Yes. Bridgeforth had a Agi bust on a zombie. You probably keep it, or you just fire it when you get a couple more from kills or something. Like, I don't think the Agi bust is too impactful. Like, whatever. And then we had Crocswork Skinks. Keep tabbing in and out to look at the 3 things I have open for when I do the recaps. They got a armor bust on their Croxagore, so now they're on Croxatris number 5. Sold and rebought them. And they got a level on the Super Skink. Oh! Went with Sherfy. I thought this was going to be... whatchamacallit? No, Sure Feet is good, but I thought it was going to be Sprint, so it would be even closer to just it would be a 1-push natty. Or a one push, 1 turn. And Probably needs a Jugs to help with that. And then Asaurus got... Oh, Axel got Strength. That's a pretty good level. That's actually got... Yeah. 2 really good levels. This team is going far. Like, good luck against Ash and Shade. This team is crazy. And then Pedal to the Metal versus Bad Seamstress. Yeah, for sure. It does. I don't think it's bad. I think I would have gone for Sprint for the option. But I think that Sure Feet is A-okay. Very good. Especially when you're not playing with a bench. And like... Okay. The Sprint would be better if you didn't bring your one-turner on the field except for one-turns. Which you use your Skink for more than just one-turns. So I think Sure Feet is A-okay. I think it's great. Then we got... Pedal to the Metal versus Bad Seamstress Blues. I feel like this was a very... I feel like this should have been Pedal to the Metal's win. A little bit more reluctance to use the Wizard again. Also, a couple bad rolls. But this one, I think, was played in a blizzard, and it made it a little funky. But we'll look at several turns from this game, because this was actually really interesting to look at. And where is Pedal? Yeah. So we got Pedal to the Metal. Got a level on the movement up Agi Catcher, and now it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Gunner, if you are not able to get one-turners, I think it's almost entirely just from failed dodge rolls and misfortune. Because, like, you're at the point where you should just be able to walk everything in. Like, that's an insane piece. Agi 10, Agi 5, movement 10. Yeah, that's a very big level up. Good luck, everybody else. And then... Bad Seamstress also had a level. I think it was just a lineman. Mercil. Oh, Agi 5. That's useful. I can give them a leap. Can give them just dodge. General purpose. You know, you'll always find something to do with an Agi 5. Then we got 2 more games to look at the changes on the team. I know Cute Ultra Mutants versus Over Underworld. Over Underworld, Hiroto's Sukera, absolutely dumpstered by DICE. This was like... this was a just sad game for Hero. I caught it live and just super deflated turn 1. Went for first turn natty walk-in score, and it failed. Picked up the ball, failed, had to reroll. Went for a handoff, failed. And then just everything went to shit after that and never recovered. It was horrendous to watch. Had to use multiple rerolls very early. 0 rerolls by turn like 4. Just... there was nothing that the rats could do in this one. It was pretty sad to watch. But then we got Cute Ultra Mutants, which got a level on Tromeo and Juliet and Penelope. So Penelope got guard on guard on the dirty player. I think I would have gone with wrestle, and you could also have considered kick. I don't hate the guard. I just think that this is a piece you don't really want to expose to danger because it's how you're going to get a good amount of removals. And then there was one on Romeo and Juliet. Just picked up guard. I like it. I like it. This team needs a little bit of guard. Now it's got some. Can go to toe-to-toe with this Mighty Blow advantage a little bit more. Looks good, looks good. I like Wrestle because it keeps your dirty player alive. And if you ever get both down on your dirty player, they can just stand up and step on the dude, most likely. But I do like the kick on the dirty player. It does feel nice to me. Then, last but not least, Goldtooth Gitz versus Rat Xandria. Another very interesting match to watch. We'll watch quite a few turns of this one. Because this was actually a somewhat high removal game for two teams that have, like, two Mighty Blow in between them. And there was a couple good serves. Like, this was a fun game to watch. And it was a very well-deserved win by Go to the Gits. Just very solid play. So we come over here. Pretty sure there were some... There's some levels over here. Yes. 8 Gut Stab a Skeezer gets tackle. And Elon Tusk grabs guard. Yeah. And I don't think there was any perms, no deaths, no nothing like that. And then we got Ratzandria also had a level. Where are we at, Ratzandria? There it is. Level on Vecna, the Gutter Runner. Strip Ball. So if you don't have sure hands, look out. Oh yeah, no Mighty Blow is going to be very tough. I think it's already been very tough. But yeah, we've got no sure hands on... We'll just double check if the sure hands will be relevant next week. So we have Ratzandria versus Crocswork. Oh, that could be impactful. I think they have a sure hands, but they only have the one. Right? Yeah, they do have a sure hands, but it makes it risky for it to be on the other skinks to have this strip ball. So I think that's a decent pickup, even just immediately. Alright, so that was last week. Coming up this week, I think we're gonna look at some turns first, and then we'll do some predictions. So back to the Bridgeman versus Van Gulver. Had a couple turns written down for this. Wanted to watch turns 2 through 5-ish. I was very descriptive in my notes. Because I'm a good recapper that has watched the game and written notes. And that should be added skills, yeah? Yeah. Let's get to turn 2. Yeah, I thought this play right here... Yes, it was all random guesses, you're right. This play right here I found very cute. This chain push. Because we got a double frenzy hit into a chain to go to 1 die on a mummy. Like, I thought that was cute. That I loved it. And holding the ball back on the thrower. And I'm pretty sure this game had a somewhat of a whoopsies from Pez that I feel caused the downward spiral. Like right here, Sitek's coming through, and this is a lot of pressure. Because now you're forced to do something with the ball. Because how far away is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 GFI away? Then these get situated. And my main problem was the ball is not safe. And at this point in the turn, we've already used the reroll. And then we go for a GFI with a GFI on the blitz, and the ball's still not safe. So I felt like that was an error to take this hit. I feel like we should have maybe gone after like Setek or something. Or at least move the ball back a couple squares. Move the ball back 2 squares and it's safe. He could get base, but like add G4, dodge away with dodge. Not on tackle. That's the dead. Dead into dead. Add to the number advantage. Then I felt like this foul was... And I wasn't sold on that foul. Just because like the ball's exposed and you can go hit it with set tech first. But sure hand saves from the strip ball. Ghoul comes, falls down. And they both snake to GFI back to back. Then here, we're making a spot for the ball to go to. We're gonna like pass it up here, I believe. Because all the blitzers have catch. Might be doing like a handoff and then a pass, or a pass and then a handoff. And then we snake the dodge. So I don't think this wasn't Pez's fault. I think the turn before that it should have just been an unbased thrower. But this is like not much you can do. So I don't even think it was like a big error or anything. It was just unfortunate. You got the 3% failure. Then I believe what ends up happening is that the undead end up picking up the ball and standing around with it for several turns. Yeah. And they stall, and they stall, and they stall, and they stall, and they stall. And then they have this massive advantage, and the Bridgemen don't even get a more than 1 KO roll because the defenders are scoring. So there's only 1 set of KO rolls. And basically nothing comes back. And they're playing 7 to 11. And it just goes downhill, and we'll just skim through a little bit. It's just your typical grind through a team that's already lost so many players. And like the removals that the Bridgemen get are mainly the send-off fouls from fouls. And that's the game. That is the game. So Bridgemen a little misfortunate. And that led into no KO rolls, which led into trying to fight over the ball when down players. Not much going on there. This was a bash fest, so we're only watching a couple turns of this because most of it's pretty similar. But there was like we'll skim through a little bit of it again. Because I think that's a good compromise. Is I'll show some highlights and then click the skip turn button and just show like a little slideshow. Yeah, turn 1 I wanted to look at because it was kind of funny. Yeah, highlights for the win. It's like when you're flicking through the sports channels and you just see random plays. Skip the setup. But right here, instant perfect D avoids 2 claw hits, which is pretty massive in this matchup. And I did want to point out, like, Revert makes a really bad mistake here. We take 2 hits and then we go for the pickup and re-roll it because we have other hits to take. If you wait until the end of the turn to do this, you don't have to re-roll it. You have another re-roll because you don't miss out on your hits. But because you did it before your blitz, you are forced to take the re-roll just so you don't lose the bash fight immediately. So I think that was a basic turn ordering mistake, even though it was only a 2+. But But then that's followed by a full cage, which I think the full cage is unnecessary in the Bash matchup. If you're against Skaven, what else? Something that's going to get behind you on turn 1, sure. But this is a deep full cage. I just feel like this is unnecessary. Because what value is Pointer Fur and Fairy Far... That's... I don't know how to say that. Fari Cage? Fari Claw? Like, I don't think these two players are giving any value, and the other are giving marginal value when they could have been up forward screening off here. Like, leave the ball there. That's sure. That's fine. That's safe. But I don't think we need to have all the players deep into our own half. Because, like, there's not a wizard or anything. There is Brad, though. But then we see a little bit of capitalization. And then Demonic starts to get into base contact with the dwarves. Starts getting stuck. This was good. You take the killer hit on the killer. You basically always do that. But then you leave your killer stuck. So I think what's better here is almost just getting it set up so you can take that hit and either follow it and palm, or don't follow it and take your 3+ dodge off. And then here, this is a fine full gauge. Like, this is actually doing something. You don't want to get wrapped around behind. So this is fine. Then Bash Fest. This killer's gonna take a hit on the killer. It's a good time. Yep. And re-rolls it, gets it. But this is the name of the game for several turns, just trading hits back and forth. Until turn, like, 4 or 5. I think it's this turn. Yeah. Here's where some really good stuff from Murdy Dash comes in. We'll see a lot of moving around. Get a couple hits in. Might even be the next. Yeah, it should be the next turn, actually. So ball-based, GG. But it gets cleared off. But the Claw team's just trading hits back and forth, trying to get an advantage through Cast Snowball. And up until this point, there actually is, like, no removal. And then this turn and the next turn start to get a little silly. I believe this is his turn. Yeah. So here, see a chain push onto the killer. It's connected to guard, break tackle, sure feet, GFIs, into the hit. And I think this is the first removal of the game. Right here, yeah. So ball is loose. Controlled more by the Chorfs than anybody else. Tries to free up some things. Doesn't manage to get quite on the ball. And then I believe we see like 3 or 4 Kaz in favor of the Chorfs into just walking down the pitch. Yep, so there's 2 die. Yep. Massive removal. Strength 6 goes out. Devastating. Apo's blown. I think it's still out, right? No. It's able to come back in the next drive. Then I believe the AV6 goes out. Yep. And one more. Should be this one. Yep. So that's a big swing in power on just this one turn. So it's now 7 versus 11 in favor of the Chorfs. They just stand next to the ball. They pick it up, run down the pitch, and I think there's no removals on the Chorfs team. Yeah. So by the end of the drive, it is 5 chaos. And then again, I believe this is a score. And because there's no score from the offense, there's only 1 KO roll, and I believe they roll very poorly. No, it's not a score. No, they got a few back, but it's still 7 versus 11. We watched the slideshow a little bit here. Chorf offense, and they just walk it down. Get more removals, keep them based. Yeah. And that's the game. Literally 3 chaos on the bench. There were actually 3 removals, but they were not impactful enough. Then we had... I don't think there were many turns worth watching here, but we'll skim most of this. There were 2 turns that I think were worth watching. I'll put like in a highlight format, not from the game's not worth watching format. So it'll be Chaos offense first. Skip us some setups. Basically what happens, ball goes out, gets thrown, gets given to the Strength 5, and then it's like caged up for quite a bit. But I wanted to show turn 5. We just see very little movement, lots of caging, a couple blitz for blitz, that sort of thing. And I believe it was turn 5 I was wanting to look at. What was it I was wanting to look at here? Oh yeah, I remember. So, coming up on the Dark Elves turn, this is where they get a pretty good chain to get a Thal, and it just gets punished with a send-off. Apo the MNG comes back. Oh, skipped it. So then we see cancel the assist right here. Strength 4, Jugs, Witch Elf comes in. Push. To push on the 1 die. Brings in the other assist. Pow. And gang fouls into... gets a 5+ on the foul and rolls dub ones. And I just felt that in my soul. Like, it feels so bad. You get like a 95% foul right here. And it's a send-off. Or it's like a 90% foul. Just feels bad. Yeah, Team 5 that match? I don't think I understand a reference. I think I am... Trash text, gotcha. So then we just walk that in while removing the elves as much as possible. Oh, trash dice instead of Team 5. I understand. Okay. Oh, that's funny. But then I wanted to look at turn 10, because there's still, like, not many elves on the pitch. But ball goes deep. Elves try to get some scoring threats. Don't quite manage it. Well, they got the scoring threats, but they don't quite manage to pick up the ball and get it down the field quite yet. Because I think the elves are still going for the win. Which I fully support. Shaggorath removes a scoring threat. No, just bases it. I misremembered. And then we get to see some really fun stuff with pass block activating. It was actually really funny. Pass block didn't really make much difference in anything, which I found very humorous. So we go for a long pass, get the base, turn it from a 4+ into a 5+. Fail the intercept, pro re-rolls it, fails the intercept a second time, and just double fumble on the pass, I believe. Actually, no, the first throw would have been... No, wait, I actually, basing with the pass block caused the 3 to be a fumble rather than an inaccurate. So pass block made a difference. We found a use case. It actually made a difference. That's amazing. So then, go up the pitch. And this blitzer's been up here for like 4 turns already. I think that Logo forgot about it. Oh, super funny. I didn't realize. I read the dice log wrong. Oh. But yeah, this blitzer, I think Logos forgot about the blitzer for a bit. Just kind of funny, but also just a rough situation everywhere. And like Minotaur's given the ball and gets the touchdown, gets the level off of it, feels good, and then doesn't quite manage to get the score after. Well, the Dark Elves didn't manage to score after. And then, this is probably my favorite first turn out of every single game this week. And I'm just going to skip past 90% of the setup and let you just see what happens, because it was a first turn that I felt was very silly. Yep. Goblins. Do. I believe that's most of the setup. I'm just gonna let the rest play out so we get to see what happened. Yep, gets the blitz for Croc's work. Ball's going right on the line of scrimmage. Pulls in the guard. And then frenzies in. Boom, 2 die into a push. 1 die into a push. And I have a lot of respect for this. Puts one of the skinks with 2 doubles under the ball, marked by 3 players, and gets it on a 6+ catch. Then gets powed, sidesteps backwards, losing the skink. Yep, indeed, Frenzy Gaming. And securing the ball behind the line of scrimmage for the Lizards. Just... I was dying when I saw it. I love it. It's just so funny. Because if that wasn't a POW, like, you would have had the ball... You even brought a guard here, so that the frenzy hit could have potentially been push-push. Oh. It's fantastic. Then I wanted to watch... But yeah. Gets the push, gives it to the other Saurus with the bounce. You're not sure which team you would have conceded. Oh, yeah. Like that's just like a comical first turn. So turn 1 is done, and there have been 3 removals already. So then we get some blocks, and I believe the ball comes over here. Yep. Ball comes over here, handoff, and this is a very hard score to prevent. But JD does give it the good old try. Crocs comes to mark some things. Cheney gets knocked. Then we see pretty decent foul. I think, yeah, JD also had a bribe. So it was actually a good foul to take. Giving up the chance of a Source TD? Yeah, little sad, but it's so far away from leveling. Like, I don't think you just worry about it. Needs another 80 XP? 90? 93? I can do math on the fly. Yep. But gets a surf here, which is good. Frenzy does the thing. And this is beer stand as well. I'm surprised you actually let it... Oh, you were going for like a both down or something right here. But I was surprised you let dodge activate, because I would have said no. Because I would prefer to just get hit rather than go down. Because you were going for the counter surf? Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Because it was also a loner skink, you don't really care. And normally I would rather not take the guaranteed injury roll. But I'm even more prone to not want that, because the beer stand is +1 on injury rolls, guaranteed mighty blow on the injury. And then I believe you... Where else was I looking? Wanted to look at turn 4. Then you stall a little bit. Yep. Stalls a little bit. It's like turn 4 and 5. Oh yeah, the first 2 turns were incredible. Like, I would have been tilted if I were the Necro. But like, as a spectator, fantastic. More bribes. Everybody loves bribes. Especially lizards who have trouble using them. And only the lizards are down players. So it actually gets like really impressive when it's like 2-0, but there's only like 7 lizards on the pitch. I wasn't keen on this hit. Going up to get based. Yeah, the 100K dirty player sneaky get skink. Oh. Yeah. And then this Croc score dies this game, which, you know, I think my favorite thing with Croxagores is the coaches that named them after the person that killed the last one. Because I think Egyptian Mink had a Croxagore, it died, got replaced, and then the next game it died and got replaced again. Which that's just always funny to see. I don't remember why I was seeing this turn exactly. Oh, yeah. It's Flywheel's gonna make a decent sack attempt, I believe is what it was. Good removal on the werewolf. But yeah. This ghoul comes up here, and I would describe this as wanting to be safe. They actually very much like the sneaky play coming up. Move this zombie out of the way. There's now a path for the break tackle to come in. Then the Super Skink comes in, takes a dodge, removes the other assist. And we go 1 die, 1 die. Don't knock the ball down, but it is based by a very scary lizard with Blodge and Frenzy and Tackle. Yeah, I think that was the case too. But it was also, like, pretty well discovered. Because most people don't expect the 1D hit on the break tackle lizard. Like, in between all this guard. Because the assist was also negated by, like, your Super Skink. So I wouldn't blame anyone for missing that. Because otherwise it was going to be red dice, red dice. Which even then might have been worth taking. And then you have a beautiful turn here as well. Because you get another chain push going. Yep. We got ourselves a T-shape. And T-shape comes and hits the guard. Only gets a push. But that's fine, because then now we have another T-shape going the other way. And we get the knockdown and move out the guard. Just a very, very clean set of plays you've been doing after turn 1. If we ignore turn 1, your play has been very clean. Turn 1 was... Don't let anybody talk down to you about your turn 1, because that was beautiful. That was a series of decisions that were made, and I loved it. But yeah. Then Skink just gets knocked down, picks up the ball again. You end up 0-2. We catch the highlight reel from here because this is a hard one to come back from for the Necro. Fights over the ball, fights over the ball, fights over the ball. Where's the ball? Ball scattered over there somehow, or got thrown? Did it get yeeted by the skink? Probably got yeeted by the skink, I'd say. And then we're 0-3. And at this point, got so few, but it's like, Necro were able to score once here, but like, it didn't matter because they can't get to a tie. Yeah, recovery into punt, that's what I thought. Yeah, very, very interesting game to watch. Poor JD. Bridgeforth did their very best. But man, Crocsfork Skinks is just an insane team with a really good coach. Like, my two weaknesses. And then, this was a fun one to watch as well. Bring this up. Did I have any turns written down for this? I got really lazy at the end of the sheet of writing down the turns. Yeah. Basically, nothing happens for the first 6 turns. They just stand still and punch each other, like all elves do. Yeah. So, they stand still and get punches on the line of scrimmage for 6 turns, as all elves do. Then, here's Seamstress Blues will take a... Try to take advantage of the sideline here being open. Yep, screening it off. It's got their double strength up in position. And it's important to note they're holding on a already injured, already permed lineman, so that they don't have to get wizard on their super witch elf. Now here's where I wanted to point out where I would have used the wizard was right here, because it's turn 6 on defense, and we'll see that Gunner does just get a good attempt to get the ball down without the wizard. But if you use the wizard here on this four-man fireball here, or even just zap it, like zap the ball or wizard in some capacity, and you have a much easier chance of getting the ball and giving it to like your other war dancer or a catcher. Because instead we use a lot of activations to get on the ball. But then we don't have a way of recovering it because we haven't used the wizard to get anything out of the way. So you'll see right here, move that out of the way. We got a good leap play. So I think this is a good play. I just think that if you had also used the wizard, instead of, like, you could have bolted the ball down or fireballed 4 players and see what goes down. Because you didn't need the wizard to do this. But if you use the wizard, you remove a lot of variables. English is hard. Sorry, it's my first language. But then you could have had your agility 5, movement 8 million, catcher be able to pick up the ball potentially. That was just bad luck. And then I believe it was another set of skimming. Switch just comes over here. We stall for a turn. Still don't use the wizard. Which I think if you don't use the wizard on your defense, you're not really taking full advantage of it. And then JJD put sidestep on the line to prevent the one turn, which was pretty wise. Yep, triple sidestep. Does prevent the one turn. But then we see another set of standing on the line of scrimmage and hoping the enemy falls over into a pretty plain Jane score. Like, it's just what else? They run it in. Not quite able to stall the full length. They're getting pressured. So they lightning bolt the witch and it fails. Come over here. 1 in 36 dodge into a handoff. So now, Dark Elves have 2 turns to score, and I feel like there were a couple mistakes made by Gunnar here just at the end. So, we see here some scoring threats right down here. And honestly, in the Blizzard, you can prioritize the GFI scoring threats a lot less, just because 3+s are harder. Also, the throws are shorter, so it's a little easier to cover it. So now, Witch has the ball. You just gotta prevent. Score. Basing here is okay. Basing here is okay. Make the catches harder. I'm trying to remember what I thought the issue was. Huh. What did I think the issue was? No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was Gunnar that I thought made a misplay. I think it was JJD, because I think the win should have happened here. Because I think got the reroll. We've got 1 scoring threat right here. It's got to take a double GFI, but it's still a scoring threat. And we've got a scoring threat right here. So I think, you know, get a push. You should just follow the push. You should just follow the push. Because, like, either follow the push or just take your dodge normally. Because you used the reroll when I didn't think you had to. And you also had another scoring threat you could have done some stuff with. So I think it was just slight error on the blitz and the order of dice taken. Because I think with the reroll, if you didn't reroll that push, you would have been fine. And I accidentally exited the thing again. And we're gonna watch like turn 1 and then skim the rest of this game. I have the game, we'll just watch it after this one. I have it downloaded, but it's just not showing up there. Right. Did I have anything written down for this one? Turn 3, 10, and 11. So let's skim to turn 3. Nothing crazy really happens for a couple turns. Some standard hit stuff. Oh yeah, turn 3 Bowser opens up a surf on a gutter runner, I believe it was. So that was a whoopsies. So get the ball protected. Gutter Runner already way behind the Orcs. Orcs have also walked past these Skaven linemen, which puts them really out of position. If the Orcs get behind you, you're just in trouble. Removals, which SPP very much needed on Nice Guy Prato's team. That was a mistake standing right there, because that is now super surfable in several ways. Especially like this GFI fails. And we do, in fact, see a surf on the next turn. Get some pushes. Move up. Get the surf. Boom, it's out of there. We cage up. And it's just a nice standard or grind down the pitch. Into a turn 8 score. Into prevent the 1 turn. Just barely doesn't get... I will say, when you're preventing a 1 turn, you want to move all these up. Because otherwise, they take 1 less dodge. So you want to have these all on the 2 here. Because if they had managed to come down here, it would have only been 2 dodges rather than 3. Takes a foul, gets sent off. Turn 10, I think it was. Here, the ball's really deep. Start sending some orcs after it. Yep. Get the orc down. Freeze up a path. Now we gotta do something with it. So what I would be looking at is throw goes for the pickup, goes for the pass, goes for the handoff. I believe that is what was attempted. Fails the pickup. And now we end up surfing the thrower. Honestly, you could have argued that on this turn, we should have zapped this Gutter Runner, so there's no chance that they contest the pickup. And I will say that re-rolling that so early in the turn when there's other blocks to take, I would have rather have seen some of this other stuff first. Because otherwise you open yourself up to some really unfortunate rolls. And like if that failed, you'd have multiple hits that you didn't take. And then also you want to be bringing more players up this way to protect the ball. Here, this guy's a problem right now. Claw, horns, vermin. Yep, because if you had marked this right here, that would have been another dodge. More dice rolls before going after the ball. Instead, right now, the ball gets picked up on a 3+, and I believe gets yeeted. Ball comes down. 4+ pass. Catch. This ball is out of here. Gets knocked down. Gets the score anyways. And then we get another orc grind up the pitch. That's that game. And then the over Underworld match, we're going to basically watch one turn and then click next turn. If you want to see True Despair, watch Heroes VOD or the full game yourself. Because this can honestly just about be summed up in the first turn. Switch sides. Skip our setups a little bit. Quick snaps. Oh. Yep. I feel like that should have been the blitz, or saved for the blitz. Gets the pickup. Fails the pass. Boom. Fails the catch. And we got a gutter base. We got a gutter that's able to be exposed. We got Storm Vermin next to the sideline. That was a hit you can take. Should have just used the block. That works too, though. And I believe this is a removal? No, misremember. But yeah, then this just follows this pattern of rats getting bashed in, unable to do much, continuing to roll poorly, getting removed, down to 0 rerolls very early on. Unable to stop the score, and then the same thing happens again. Boom, 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 boom. Gets lots of hits. Not actually many removals in the second half, in comparison to all the KOs that were out. But does just cage up and walk it back in. And that was the week. So here at the end, we're going to take a quick overview at the matchups one more time. Gonna make some predictions, and then call it a night. So we've got Bridgman versus Fragile and Limp. Fragile and Limp. Super Witches. Only 2 tackle. And I know that Bridgman has a lot of blodge. Where's Bridgman? Lots of blodge. Decent amount of guard. Several tackle. So I'm going to give this one to the Bridgman. Okay. Then we got Bridge Force versus Pangolin. Pangolin's a very intimidating team. Lots of guard, lots of pain. Actually, not very much guard in comparison to a couple weeks ago. Had quite a bit of a falling out with some slightly leveled blockers versus Bridge Fourth. This one's hard to say. Lots of inducements. Semi-decent team already. Can take like a block golem recruit, or can just get another... Nope, just not able to afford it, I don't think. I think they're 110. And getting 700 in inducements? Can get 3... I'm gonna go with the Chorfs. I think Pangolins just got a massive advantage. I think that Bridgeforth can find a way into this one, but it's going to be hard. Petal versus the Whitecaps. Where's the Whitecaps? 2 tackle, 3 mighty blow. I think I'm going to give this to the Natty catcher. Yeah. Natty Agi 5. So I'm going to give that to Petal to the Metal. Yeah. you got lucky, because I think that would have changed some things. Ultra Mutants versus Animal Crossers. I think that's going to be a tie. I think it's going to be like a 1-1 tie. Where are we at? Bunch of that. A little bit of Agi, though. Needless to say. Then the Ultra Mutants. You're actually more fragile, I think. It's got more Mighty Blow for Codpiece. Pretty even match for that. I think it's gonna be a tie. I'm writing it down as a tie. Gold Tooth Gets versus Terracy. I'm gonna give it to Terracy. Not based on anything besides just amount of kill on Terracy. Terracy is very intimidating. Shaggorath is a very good coach. Goldtooth can pull out a win. They are against a Minotaur. Minotaurs are very unreliable from game to game. Sometimes they're just the best piece in the world. Other times they refuse to move for 16 turns, and that's it. It is a block. It is a block mina, though. So it'll be a pillar, if nothing else. So I think definitely Terracy. Then it's going to Crocswork. If you've got if you have a natty or an almost natty on your team, I'm gonna say that is gonna be you. So we're gonna go with Crocswork on this one. Over Underworld versus Bad Seamstress. Doesn't need to move. I mean, usually doesn't need to. You can play around it when it doesn't, as you do. Over Under has 2 good hitters, 4 gutter runners, really good gutter runner. Versus what was it? Bad Seamstress? It's a hard one to say, I think. 2 Mighty Blow versus AV8 versus no Mighty Blow versus AV7. How much tackle did Over Underworld have? Because I think that's the main determiner for me. Lots of inducements can get like Skitter or Glart, Wizard Bribes. Lots of stuff to go around. One tackle. So, if Hero can keep his tackle alive, I think he's got a great shot at winning. If the tackle goes down for any reason, I think it's just easily Bad Seamstress. So, I think for coach quality, I want to say Over Underworld, but just from teams, I'm going to say it's Bad Seamstress. So, my predictions are Bridgman, Bridgeforth, Pedal to the Metal, Tie, Terracy, Crocswork, Bad Seamstress. Feel free to prove me wrong. I just find the predictions fun. And I think that's all we got for the day. Alright. Thank y'all for watching. Good luck in your games. And be sure to let me know if anything particularly neat that needs to be shown happens. Because sometimes I miss a thing or two while skimming through the games and getting my notes down. But yeah. Good luck to y'all. And y'all have a good one.